we made lots of music. It takes talent to make some money, but it takes education to maintain or grow the money. If you help somebody in life, don't help them because you want them to pay you back when you're down.
Yamika Golden Maiwanga. Am I saying it right?
It's actually Yamikani.
Yamikani.
Yeah.
But we all know you as Coin. That's why I'm butchering your name. Yeah. Is Coin because of the golden? I'm assuming that there's a link there.
Yeah, it's actually a high school name. When this friend of mine, Roy, he's like, yo, you're the golden coin. And like, next thing, everybody in school is calling me that. I didn't like it. Next thing, I'm out of high school. Next thing, everybody's calling that. Next thing, even my dad's calling me that. So
yeah. All right. Now, what at the moment, you've been so influential in the world of entertainment, although people don't know because you're a very behind the scenes kind of guy. And so productions that are on TV, whether it be big productions that are like weekly in people's faces, you are in there as one of the people who fan the flames, who are involved in ideation, who are involved in brokering the deals and all that kind of stuff. First time I heard of you was through the late Mandiva, mutual friend. And every second sentence at some point from his mouth was to do with coin.
Oh, is it?
That was me.
That brother.
So how do you're a Kitwe guy? Maybe tell us about your journey into Lusaka, where you're now based, and where it started for you.
Well, yeah, born and bred in Kitwe. Grade 9, that's the most difficult exam in Zambia. Passed grade 9, and then next thing, you made it, go to David Kaunda. Yeah, I'm going to Lusaka. I remember getting my results, and I couldn't get on a bus, on a taxi. I was like, this guy's gonna be slow. I can't wait to show my mom. When my mom's office, mom, I'm going to Lusaka. I did it. Got on a bus. Was it Jafaro White House back in the day? Got to Lusaka, DK. Met a few like-minded people. Ali Nani, you guys know Ali Nani. Wow. Kenny Rock, like a whole group of people who I met during high school. And then we had this interest, post high school, went to University of Zambia. That's where it all started. I just said, I'm not going back to Copperbelt.
Yeah.
Linked up with Mac 44, started producing. I remember Wesley's first album, I produced that. There's a guy called Soba, I produced that.
When you say produce, I'm cutting, like musically, you I didn't know that about.
I'm a music producer. I play the guitar, I play a keyboard. I'm an instrumentalist as well.
Wow.
Yeah. The TV shows that I make, I score my own music.
See, I had no
because
idea.
I like the royalties. so pretty much. So I move into Lusaka, meet a beautiful girl, get married, meet like-minded people, and everything just fell in place. And Lusaka was the place where I was. And next thing, you transition from music to TV, advertising, trying to do this and that, just pretty much just be a creative. And yeah.
So would you call this assessment right? And you can let me know. You are a person that has managed to take the art of storytelling through whatever medium or form it comes through, but married that with commercial intent. And those two are when they're mishmashed together, explain the success of Coin currently.
Absolutely. 1,000%. The whole ball game of you have a dream, you want to do this, and I believe people are created to live their passion, and I always tell people I can't imagine Lionel Messi, Ronaldo being an accountant or a doctor. It's soccer. They're built for that. They're living their passion, and then you find a way to monetize your passion, and the two meet, and then you earn a living from it. And it's pretty much you doesn't even feel like work. You're enjoying it. And it's something that I wish so much for so many people, if they could just find their passion, and live off it. Find your purpose, your passion, and run with it. And then, yeah, pretty much.
There's a time I went to a Dave Chappelle show. He was performing in Joburg. Yeah. And before he left, he's finished his show. He's done. Yeah. We're clapping wildly for him. And then he says, wait, I got to tell you guys one more thing. I love your country. I love Africa, etc. I'm probably paraphrasing, but then he says, but my advice is get the money aspect right, or something like that, And he went off stage. In my mind, I was blown away, and I was trying to decode, like, what is he telling us, low key? What's the secret sauce? And when I look at what you're doing, there is an element where there's your passion and stuff, but then there's also a heavy element of when deals are spoken about and deals are brokered at a high level. You're involved in that, and that's not an easy skill to acquire, especially for creatives, because we're more passionate about the creativity side of things. Do you what's your approach when it comes to looking at this whole thing as a business?
Well, I usually have conversations with lots of talents that I have. You're gonna have a talent, okay? You're gonna sing. For example, I've got lots of big name artists who are my personal friends, and we're gonna have conversations. I've seen this guy go in the studio, a small piece of paper, writes a beautiful song, and that's his skill. Okay, he's amazing at that. Then I try to make them understand that, listen, know your strengths, where you're gonna come in. I'm gonna be a creative, but I can't be a TV presenter. I can't be the guy in front of the camera. I know my strengths. I write that nice corporate email, human resource, get the crew right, budgeting, all that kind of stuff. I'll read my texts, dialogue and everything. When a TV show is done or a commercial, I'm reading the subtitles. Is everything correct? Is everything politically correct to go out to the masses? I know my strengths. But then it all borders on having a solid team and people who you can actually work with, and that's something that's not even a secret. Out there in the Western world, you will find, I was listening to Justin Bieber's album not long ago. I was looking at the credits and I was like, oh yeah, this actually sounded like Ed Sheeran, because he knew Ed Sheeran is a better writer. You're going to find, Jimmy Iovine, okay, because he knows how to promote the music business in a business point of view. For me, I know what I do. I understand the business. I'll create. I'm not going to act. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I feel the moment the people get that right, it's success for everybody. And obviously, I've been to school, and I'll tell people, listen, it takes talent to make some money, but it takes education to maintain or grow the money. And obviously people are going to see me dressed like this, doing this. Next thing they see me graduate from UCT. But why? And then, Yeah. You need the education. You need to read a contract. Most artists or talents will just be like, oh, ni wako now. Now, say, they fuck for my cakes. So pretty much you're just as strong as your team.
So the other thing that you have been doing, especially of late, you're involved in, now we can say, award-winning shows, because like one of the shows that you worked on, there are probably more, but the one I'm thinking about right now is King Booga. You're on season 2. It's on Zambezi Magic. It's doing extremely well, and you have to work with a very strong character in Makitu. And he's also a creative. He's also a guy who's got vision, and he's also, I wouldn't say stubborn, but very bullishly protective around what his thoughts and his views are. And I'm kind of imagining, if you're working with him, with somebody like him, and he's been here based on you, he's been to this space. Is there give and take, between the relationship that you guys maintain for such projects?
It's funny. Monkey 2 is so, and that's why Mark has got a big success. Mark is one person, even when we're working together. Our content producer is a guy called Gilbert. Then obviously I'm there as producer. And Gilbert actually directs as well. We'll literally be on set. Monkey 2 will literally be like, hello, Mr. Coin. And this is how he speaks. Hello, Mr. Coin, Mr. Gilbert. So up and finished to reach. No, like for real. He's not the type who's gonna say, no, let's do this. But he's gonna throw in the suggestion. He's protective about his brand and everything, but then he knows he's got a good team. So it's a thing where he's not actually even controlling. He's, well, okay, cool. The script is, the idea rather is going this side. And then he's going to be like, but that's not realistic, guys.
Yeah.
Can we, throw in ideas? But what do you think? Okay, cool. Blah, 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 blah. We do it. And at the end of the day, the show is done. Like, not at one point did he ever come and say, no, this is my brand.
Yeah.
This and this. He understands he's had a long, successful journey in music. I'm coming from TV. I can't go in the studio and tell Mark how to make a hit. That guy can make a hit in 5 minutes any day. But then he also understands, okay, cool, Coin and then his team have been on this road doing this. Let's meet somewhere, make it happen. And guys, it's fun on set. It's amazing working with that guy. And it's lots of fun.
And he's a good team player.
Absolutely.
So here's a follow-on question, because we've just spoken about somebody in terms of longevity who's been around and doesn't seem to have his light dimming anytime soon because he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Contrast that with a number of other people who we see a blip of their potential, and then we look away, we look back, and they're gone.
Absolutely.
And if they're not gone because they've gone to work behind the scenes, they're gone because maybe they didn't organize their life right. I'll give you an example, and this might sound, I won't mention names.
Yeah.
There's this Zambian musician, right? He's still pretty big or whatever. He blows up my phone when I'm in Joburg, right? I've never met the guy personally, but I know his music, I'm a fan, whatnot. The guy, first of all, was asking for advice about, how do I make it in music, etc. In Joburg, I give him advice. Next thing, the guy's hitting me up for money, like for a loan.
Wow.
So I'm like, this guy's a big name artist. Should I, give this dude cash, whatnot? It was a small amount. No, boss, I'll pay you back on Friday. That was like, 3-4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, whatever. I sent him that small amount. The next time I saw this guy, it was yesterday.
Wow.
Yesterday, I know I'm dating this conversation, but it was at the Kwacha Music Awards backstage.
Oh, yeah.
I say hi to him. Hello. He disappeared. He carried on doing his thing, you know what I mean? And I'm looking like, this punk. You know what I mean? And he's not doing well, you know what I mean? He's the little controversies, you might even know what I'm talking about, because he'll hit headlines for stupid money stories and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm using him as an example. What do you think is the difference between artists who just have longevity and a very solid grounding in the industry, because you've worked with them over the years, and guys who just seem to fall off because of whatever reason it is? Maybe you can help to shed some light from your perspective.
Well, I think the ones from my experience, the ones that really don't last is obviously I'm big on attitude. Okay, you'll be so talented. I'm gonna give an example. Aba West Africa, Tete Sekono Kunguma. What's this guy again? Eo Haji Diouf. That guy is so talented, but he had an attitude problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So many footballers you can talk about, they had an attitude. So many artists you can talk about, they have an attitude. That takes away more than most people think. The moment you just have that one hit, or you make that little money, or just your attitude towards people, even the person that you think will not do anything for you. That whole thing of where I'm only going to talk to this person because they can do this particular thing for me. That's number one. That kills them. Secondly, the little opportunity they have, they don't monetize it or treat it like a business. You know what I mean? So the next thing, they'll suck out everything of the little that they've made that opportunity. You know what I mean? If you're going to be an artist, you're going to be a producer, I need to upgrade. Cool. I just finished doing a TV show. I've made some money. I need to think business-wise. How am I going to stay relevant? What's the new camera? Which new writers can I work with? This and this, this and this, this and this, this and this. Where you think of it as a business, and how am I going to grow from here? As opposed to, I want to know what. Guys. Next thing, you're gone. You're out. You know what I mean? That hunger, you need to have that hunger, which is probably going to be my third point. You need to have that hunger to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. You know what I mean? That hunger means it's going to spark that a thought in your mind that you should read, talk to people, have a mentor, you know, which to go back to the second point I gave, make it a business, treat it like a business. You know what I mean? Get up, go to the studio or go to set or go for training if you're a soccer player, if you play golf, whatever you do, you know. If you're a voiceover artist, find a way to make it a business, but keep being hungry to go for more. You know what I mean? And you keep going. And pretty much, Palestine, you never got time. Guys, what are comfortable? Situation catched caveat, and you know, got my cakes.
No, but you're right. And the other guy who has made me look at things differently in terms of longevity.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the longevity in his case, I'll mention his name now, is almost like he's been 3 different artists within a space of 14 years.
Yeah.
So first I knew him as Stan with an R when he was acting in Zed Crew. And I knew him as an actor and that. Then I knew him as Stan the musician. He was doing like Zmandola and all those tracks.
Yeah.
And talented. Now he's Coppola Pastor.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this guy's had 3 careers in a space of 15. And he keeps reinventing himself. Like, what is he doing? But he's doing it so well. So when I met him,
shout out to him.
Yeah, bro, when I met him yesterday, I bumped, you know, I walked up to him with his wife and I told him, you know, I've been watching your trajectory from back then.
Yeah.
And just salute to you, man. Like, we have to salute how a guy can understand himself, understand his impact, understand when to pivot and shift.
Absolutely.
You know, and the other thing with him, you know, before I move on to another question to you, is he's improving.
Absolutely.
Because even though I'm saying that, you know, the guy has moved 3 careers, his music, you know, when he was operating as Stan versus his music as Coppola Pastor, you know, rapping and producing, he's evolved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's the anointing Yao Coppola or what it is, but he's just, you know, whatever it is.
We're born a certain way. We always say, on the Coppola, we always say, what do Chinese, Nigerians, and Coppola people have in common? And then we just leave it there. There's no answer to that. We just let it float there.
Okay, now I've just got 2 more questions regarding you and your career. What is the most difficult among the projects you've worked on? You know, because maybe you can drop a few names of the projects you're proud of. But what was like one of the most difficult ones you've worked on? And maybe instead of just leaving it at that, was there a lesson that you were able to draw from that? I'm asking the tough ones now.
I think the most difficult one, it was actually created by Mandiva. It was one of the first shows, you know. And he came down to Zambia. You know. Going, mfana. Vile so, nina chi IDH. Mfana, tapanga maafu. Nchikari chi IDH. Uzi ya moyo wana mayo vama nkala chim sarun. Washimika cheva mene, vama side chick. Shanjani, faka mochema kamera. I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually a dope idea. Yeah. So that was the name of the show.
Yeah.
It was one of my first shows. Created by Mandiva. He was literally holding my hand when I was producing that show. It's like, no, go left, go right. Okay, now we need to shoot a pilot. Okay, cool. Write a proposal. Do it like this. You don't end up school anyway. You at Unza. Just say what I'm saying in Nyanja. Put it in English. Do that proposal and send it to Mnet. I remember sending it to, who was there then? Kwanguli Wewe.
Oh yes, Kwangu was heading Zambezi Magic at the time. Yes.
Yeah. Sent it through, you know, in my little English and everything. Show went through. Look for presenters. Got a presenter. I think it was Stephanie Chue and then Chichi, actually. And I remember calling Chichi. I'm like, yo, I need a presenter. Going, I've never done TV before. I'm like, yo, you can do this. Pull up.
Yeah.
And then she pulls up. We start the show. Along the way, I'm doing a TV show. All women.
Oh.
All women. So, not that I'm trying to say something, but I'm not saying something, but I'm saying something, but I'm not. So now you're there. You know what I mean? There's emotions that you're managing. I don't like that girl, but she's our guest. Next thing, this is a supporting cast. I don't like that girl either. And the next thing, I'm literally having big celebrity names. And then this thing is on TV. I'm having a whole group of women. I'm literally just, I remember calling one of my mentors. He does like to be mentioned. Big deal. Produced lots of TV shows on SABC, ETV, big guy. He's like, Coin, you're the producer, right? I'm like, yeah. How much are you making? Oh, a decent amount. Coin, just focus on that. You're getting the lion's share. Just go in there and just manage the situation. Say, just go there and be like, listen, you're the one. Forget about that person. This and this and this. Let's just do this. Forget about it. Da, 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 da. Next thing, I'm trying to learn people management. This and this. I'll be honest, I ran away from that, and I actually don't plan on doing a TV show like that again. Well, maybe now that I have a solid team, I'll probably delegate certain things. Well, yeah, but it can be the situation here. Manager to a girl of the
that's yeah, you never know, man. Like sometimes that's what God does. Like He boomerangs it back your way. So your next show will be, version 2 of
pretty much.
But here's another one. So, we talked about Mandiva earlier on, and that was our boy. He was our common thread.
Absolutely.
And he's passed on and stuff, and so, maybe you can talk a bit about your relationship, and then I want to ask you lastly about IP and ownership of ideas. Yeah. What was the Mandiva connection like?
Oh,
how did you meet?
That's the funny thing. I've known that guy. I knew that guy too long. I don't even remember and say this is when.
It was just a fixture in your life.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like from the time of Empty God Bless when he was a rapper.
Yes.
But then what really got us close? There's this artist called Soba. I just finished university. I got a job. I was working. One of the fun facts people should know. I was working in the corporate world in a bank. I used to wear suits and everything. I didn't have this Barazi. So I was okay. I was cool, man. God blessed me with a decent job. I had a salary, but then I was a music producer, and so I believed in this guy. I remember I heard one of his songs, which was produced by, who produced that song? I think it was...
Must be Mag 44. No, because a lot of stuff he does is with Mag, right?
So good.
It was from
So Good.
Okay. That was Cash, eh?
Yeah, Cash.
Yeah.
It was Cash and James.
Yeah, with James, yeah. I remember when I heard, I was on a minibus, on a taxi. So it's Christian voice. And next thing I'm just hearing this guy. I'm like, this guy's amazing. This guy's from Zambia? I got off the bus. I remember walking home and I'm calling Mag 44. I'm like, bro, I heard this guy on the bus. Like, bro, we need to produce this guy. Because me and Mag, like, cool. I'm going to find him. What's his name? I'm like, I think Soba or something. Cool. One day I walk to the studio. I get to the studio. I think it was a time when Mag was producing makeup for Pompey. I walked to the studio and it's like, yo, Coin, you won't believe who I met. I'm like, who? It's like, well, Pompey. Oh, yeah. It's like, no, dude, Sober. I'm like, for real? Who is he?
Yeah.
Nah, he's just stepped up and he's coming back. Came back. I think we exchanged numbers. I'm like, bro, listen, I want to work on your album for free. I won't charge you.
Yeah.
I like your stuff. For real? I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. I did it. So in producing the album, we made lots of music. Lots of music. Some music never made it out. Me and him are just that chemistry, it was in the studio making music back to back to back to back. And then we started putting an album together. So I didn't know he was always hitting up Mandiva like, yo, big bro, I'm doing this. I'm working with this guy, this and this and this. But he didn't know Mandiva actually knew me.
Oh.
And then he sends Mandiva a couple of stuff. And it's like, it's amazing. You know what? You guys come to Joburg. Come shoot a music video in Joburg. So there's a couple of music videos that we shot in Joburg with Soba that Mandiva shot himself. So we get to Joburg. And then Mandiva always had this thing like driving us around 02 in Joburg. Like, bro, like this, people get killed here. You know what I mean? And they always
in his BMW
in the
7
blue 5 Series. That guy made me buy a 5 Series. I want a 5 Series because of him.
No, Mandiva was all about, the car.
Yeah. And he always used to take me to these dealerships. I find these Ferraris, Rolls Royce, all these big machines. It's like, Coin, you're a potential customer. Hey, tough for genuine. Give me the keys. I want to. I'm like, why? No, you're a potential customer. Seeing that thing, you're just like, dude, are you serious? I don't have the money. No, go in, put yourself there. And then fast forward, so in Joburg shooting the videos, and then one day it's like, no, let's just chill. Today we're not doing any work. So we're just chilling. So we left sober at the barbershop. Just cutting his hair. Because I think we're going to shoot another video the following day. Then he asks me in confidence, he's like, dude, how much are you charging sober per song for the stuff that you're doing? Because it's amazing. I can't even put a genre on it. Maybe it's sometimes like dancehall, it's trance, it's afro, like it's hip hop. Like, I know your beats are amazing. And the way you just mix, it's like you understand I'm like, oh, nothing, man. That's a brother, you know what I mean? And in the copper belt, we always say, oh, I'm from Nangwete. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you lie. I'm like, yeah, for real. I'm not, nothing, not a cent. For real? I'm like, yeah. Dude, that's amazing. For real? I'm like, yeah. And then from there, we clicked. Then I got to realize Mandiva was helping so many Zambians.
Yeah.
In Joburg, they want to shoot videos. They want to get on certain platforms, Mnet channel. I remember, was it MTV Base or Channel O, where he literally walks into one of the boss's office. It's like, I need this video to play. You know what I mean? This and like, you push. I'm like, Diva, are you making any money off this? It's like, I'm fine. So I'm pushing at him life. And you know, if you help somebody in life, don't help them because you want them to pay you back when you're down. Where I say, nah, what you do them manga way. You know what I mean?
People say that.
Absolutely. But then if you came in with a pure heart to help somebody and they get somewhere, you don't feel like they'll owe you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just from there, after having those kind of conversations, like you're doing a free album, actually I've been doing this for free. We just clicked. Next thing is telling me he comes to Zambia, met a few people, I can't mention names. He's like, guys, there's a new channel that's coming. Oh yeah. New channel that's coming, guys. Yeah. The money looks like this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Travel to the copper belt with him. This is not even, he always tells the story, K+. When see K+, I'm like, K+, when I do TV shows, the money looks like this. K+ look at the money is like, impossible. Nah, I won't be part of it. He always tells that story. You know what I mean? And then fast forward, Mandiva was like, you're not going. You're the only one who's listening to me. And I'm seeing you put in the energy, the efforts, the money, your own salary, this and let's just do this. Next thing, we click more, we start doing proposals, TV shows, Let's do this. I remember telling you, I'm finna get bang and drama. I'm finna get Zambia chat going na Mandiva and Masatanist. Bang and drama. You know what I mean? And then fast forward, we're okay. We're comfortable. You know what I mean? And then we just click like that. Every time he flew in, he would a strange number. I don't like strange numbers calling me.
Yeah.
He'd always call me on a new number. Is this Mr. Coin? Like, you do this Indian thing.
Yeah,
it
he
is.
did that with me.
Yeah. I'm like, yes. This is sorry. Like, now I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were going Mandiva and Choka Airport to good. Take us minis. And we always go to North Mid. You know, get the maize and everything, have conversations, tells me I was family. You know, even when I was getting married, he told me, oh, you're married now, do this in life. You know, start a family, do this, always put this first in life, this and this and this. And yeah, pretty much.
He shot my video for Go Getter in 2012.
Oh, yeah?
It was ideated in Joburg. He came through. I think he drove with Chuma. It was, Chuma Piri. And we shot it. The idea was to involve as many Zambian movers and shakers who represent go-getters.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the video.
Yeah.
You left me out. I was in a mover then.
Yeah, man.
I was in a mover then.
That was before. That was when the coin was still copper. No, I'm teasing.
I was in Kitwe.
You're in Kitwe. No, but what was interesting with that video is he's in the video.
Yeah.
And the reason he's in the video is the video was wrapped. And then I told him, but you need to be in the video.
Yeah.
And like, no, but there must be some behind the scenes footage where you're there.
Yeah.
And he found it, and then he included himself in the video. So I kind of, like look back on that, like, it was divine because, now we see the brother in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, RIP. I think you shared like you've brought him to life in this conversation in a good way.
And he always used to mention you. Chilumba.
You know what's sad?
I know there's a time, I think, I don't know if you moved into a house or you bought a house.
Yeah.
He came to tell me about it. Chill, why are you upstairs? Please confirm it. Don't be humble. Don't be humble. And then from that conversation, he introduced me to this website that I'm addicted to from SA. It's called Private Property something. I won't say the end. I don't like free advertising. So next thing I was, and he'd see this house, he'd send it to me. I'd see this house, I'd send it to him.
Really?
It's like, Coin, we can do this. Because apachiro anakula nyumba. Ndio mtu wanga. MTV Cribs.
Yeah, man, y'all should come to my crib. Yeah, no. Anyway, let me move to ownership and of these ideas, because I think that's where we fall short in a sense.
Absolutely.
I presented a show back in 2005, 2006, and before we recorded the season, they told me, okay, sign here, so that if there are reruns, you're just saying that you won't get a piece of it. I'm like, yeah, because at the time I was looking at the money in front of me. This is 16 whatever years later, that thing still runs. So the producers are still, excuse the pun, coining. You saw that coming. Destro saw it coming. but here we are, and I realized that there is money in reruns and owning the ideas and stuff. Does that cross your mind, and have you integrated those things so that these shows that you do are still anchored in your bank account, in your legacy and
Absolutely, all the time. And the funny thing is, that's something that I've always had from day one in my mind. I've never signed a contract that I didn't read. I literally read word for word. I'll probably recite most of the pages of most of the contracts that I've signed, all of them, be it with which client. And which brings me back to what I said, talent to make you money, but education, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm coming from a background where I have my degree, my postgraduate from University of Cape Town, degree from UNZA and everything, like, so I'm very, but I go to my book feed. So I'm ownership and everything comes in. It's something that stretches far back. I'm a hip hop person, so that's the example I'll probably give, especially if you're from America benanazi shani aliba konka sana ma guys bari so niya go bati bala ma guys ayina arakedi yale bati bakufunya mkomboni so lebo yasa go yavet mwachi sign up ama album ya 3 lebo mkomboni anchi bentri muriwe. He's cool, he's happy, you know what I mean? So that's why I find most of the guys from back in the day are not as rich as Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, because these guys are now more, so with TV shows and the way I've always done my business, even just commercials, my music and everything, I've got stuff that I let go because I need the money. I got mouths to feed. I've got stuff that I keep. So when I come and say, let's create this, I'm cool to let go, and it's owned, even if I don't make money off it for the next 100 years, I'm cool, I'm fine. Guess what? It wasn't a fluke. I can do that again in my sleep tomorrow. Then I'm going to create this, and then I'm going to own it.
Okay.
And it's going to run. And unfortunately, we're in a place, maybe it's a geographical location, the system doesn't really support you in a way that you create and you own and you make money. It doesn't really, even if it comes to music, most people own their masters in Zambia. So they're not even really breaking borders, going out far, because I own it. You know what I mean? The big promoters, publishers and everything, music promoters will probably be like, I want a big chunk of this because I can push this in this particular region, this and this and this. But how's about you do an album that you can let go to do that? Same way you created that one, you can create another one. You balance it. It's a business.
So it's best of both worlds.
Absolutely. There are TV shows I've licensed. I still own them. I can take them to any platform right now. There are TV shows that I produced. I sold the rights. Some I licensed and they came back and say, wow, Coin, Aish, man, this is amazing. How much you want for the rights? Give me X amount. Well, cool. And I remember one of the first deals that I got like that was, no, I'm not selling the rights. Ownership. And this guy just literally dangled this card in my face. I said, where's the pen?
Let's sign.
Let's sign. Pin. You know what I mean? So it comes back to understanding how to balance. It's a business. Learn to monetize your skill, your talents, your if you're creative, where and say you company to run it on an ad, they can own it. That's fine. Okay. They'll take a photo of me, put me on a billboard. They can put that on all the region. As long as they pay me X amount. I know my worth for this X amount. You get this money, you go and create something that you can own. And you balance it. Not why sapange they own it back pay them peer. But guy bambona tinish the Benz. You put your money in there, it's not balancing. Next thing, Mr. Chiro able to lend me some money, and then you see me after 4 years.
That guy.
I hope it answers your question. Just
no, it does. It
well,
does.
that's my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
It's just my opinion.
All right, so
and it works for me. So
no, it's very valid. And I was gonna ask you because I was told you saw somebody whispering in my ear before we came upstairs, saying I should ask you about your golf game. but answer that quickly before I ask you the last question. How's your golf game?
My golf game is
pretty... upsetting her, maybe.
I've improved. Well, my golf game is pretty good. Fun fact, I started playing golf when I was about 12 years old.
Oh.
I grew up in the Copper Belt, so we swimming. So by the time you're like 15, you're like pro swimming, pro sports, pro this. You know what I mean? So I started playing golf. I got a little rusty.
Yeah.
So I remember when me and that individual were starting to play, I was just getting back in the game because I was trying to. Panumbana recover.
Hi.
Apa. Google me.
Okay, the last one, Mr. Coin. Somebody who is looking to get into the creative industry, or maybe it's because what's happened generationally.
Absolutely.
Our parents didn't understand this whole thing because maybe there were very few case studies within the generation, and now we're at a point whereby we can point to Coins, we can point to Makitus, we can point to so many people who are doing stuff. A little story is back in, I think it was 1994. Yeah. There was a meeting at the Zambian Union of Musicians before it became ZAM. It was Zoom, when Webster Malama was heading it. And I remember during that meeting, which I did not attend, but my friend Alan Vula attended it, a question was asked like, how many people in here drive their own cars? Raise your hands. 2 people did. In that meeting. It was Maureen Lilanda and I can't remember the other person. Whereas now, guys have like the fanciest of cars. Speak of guys like JK and so on. So now you can make a living in the arts.
Absolutely, yeah.
What advice do you have which might kind of open the eyes of people that are skeptical of maybe allowing their very gifted children who might be very talented and business savvy to follow this path?
Well, I mean, obviously it's the usual cliche, improve your talent, whatever it is, improve the skill. Okay, improve it so well that people want to pay for it. You know what I mean? I know it's cliche, but it's a fact. Whatever you do, if it's football, if it's whatever, you need to improve that skill so much. I want to pay to watch you. I want to pay, like, somehow I should pay you. It should have value for money. You will survive. Then obviously away from that, you see, life is a huge risk. You know what I mean? I took a risk when I made the jump. I had a decent job, graduated, got my degree, the usual, get a job in the corporate world. I was working in a bank. I got poached by a telecom company. I got a loan. I bought my first car, and cool. My in-laws are just like, corporate world. You know what I mean? Then eventually, why South Africa, we can have my dreadlocks. I'm a vest. We can not my tattoo to have an up. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, it's a risk. But I always tell people there's a very thin, I think, which is smaller than thin. It's a very minute, thin line between risk and foolishness. You know what I mean? But you have to take the risk. Just don't be foolish. So my advice is take a risk, okay? Did you know if it's going to work? Just be hopeful. Even if you're on the streets, entrepreneur, well, when I say streets, I mean pretty much when you work on yourself, work on your own, and you run your own business. There are times when the thing that keeps us going is you'll be hopeful for tomorrow. Today you won't make the sense that you are hoping that you're going to make, but you're hopeful for tomorrow. You know what I mean? Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow comes, it's worse. Maybe tomorrow. So it's a whole risk. You know what I mean? But then you have to take that leap of faith. Calculated. Yeah. When I was crossing over, I didn't start a TV show with a camera phone. No. Now, the equipment, shan, this and this and this. I had big brothers like Mandiva there and this, walking you through and everything, but it was still a risk. But then it sounds like, I can't share it all together now. It was just a calculated risk, where I'm saying, okay, cool, I'm quitting my 9-5 job. I remember telling my wife, coming home on a Friday, baby, nina tantura. She said, tant kind of food. And I didn't go back to that telecom company on Monday. I just sent them an email because they had leave days. So I sent them an email. I was like, guys, listen, 30 days notice. Nina tantura shile work kuno. First time I feel like to kuma side duk. Ishuka contract na kapita na shingira. Shimu account na SMS na kadida. You know what I mean? So it's calculated. You know what I mean? So there are all those opportunities that you find, okay, cool. You work on your talent, your skill. People start paying you for it. It starts off as a side hustle. It's fine. It's cool. You know what I mean? But then find time to nurture that side hustle. Eventually, sponsor your dream, and then your dream will sponsor you. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much that. It's calculated risk. Keep it a side hustle. It's fine. You got bills to pay. The world is going. No one's going to stop for you and say, no, kabidaba, balefok baba musician one day. Nah, it's nurture it, grow it, sponsor it, find ways, meet people, have a mentor, growing the skill. Eventually you can make it emfumaka something ready prakfina afya shile watu mnakufika TXN fashion pa man it does not want and life goes on so it's
I'm very impressed. I think we're going to give you a round of applause. There's enough hands in here, ladies and gentlemen.
The chairman, right?
To take us out, this man who you had a golf game with, say some praise singer stuff.
When he last team, when he went to Tina, Udureni go vega dreadlock, come on, what go vega anointing, what a motachi.
No, it was amazing. I love this.
No, thanks very much.
I don't do TV. I don't do radio.
If that wasn't the $1,000 mic, I'd say drop the mic.
No, thanks for having me. I love this.